Yeah, Les, how did you come to this decision? Like, what was the process behind the captaincy announcement?
Well, when I first looked at the opportunity, I obviously did a fair bit of research on what has been here in the previous year or two. In considering the decision, myself and the coaches thought it was good to get a good block of pre-season in first. I did speak to Tate and to Liam that I would do that just to give us a chance to see how they perform, but more importantly for Liam and Tate to have a look at us as a coaching staff. And at the end of that, it was a fairly simple decision, really, and it made sense to keep that continuity going. I think there's been some strong foundations put in place here, and these guys should be proud of what they have done. And I just want to make sure we build on that positively, and the coaches were all in favour of it as well. So in announcing Tate and Liam was easy, but I am really pleased that they've accepted and want to take this forward.
Can you maybe give us an example of what you saw or what you saw there?
Yeah, I think it's pretty simple. You know, these guys are committed. They care deeply about what it is to wear the Queensland jumper. Their expertise stands out. I had the joy to do a bit of coaching with Liam in the Challenger series, so I saw his level of knowledge at a deeper level, and it was, he knows a lot of things about this game, and I think we learn a lot about each other then, Liam. I've spoken to Tate about his experience with the Wallabies and the leadership journey that he had there as well. So it just made sense, the qualities that they bring as rugby players, but probably more importantly as people that want to represent this jersey the way they do. They care deeply. They make sure the locker room is in a really good place, and that matters because this is a tough competition, and we just need good people who can lead. And to a T, every man in that team wants to follow these guys.
There's continuity with Liam, with Tate, but can you tell us about the leadership group that would be around them and supporting them as well? What's that make up?
We've got a process in our leadership model where we'll have two guys who'll be support leaders, support leadership for Tate and Liam, and then we have strategy groups underneath it. We didn't want to be too top-heavy in a leadership group, just want to keep it nice and tight and encourage everyone to bring their best to the table in any given area, so people will be involved in really critical parts of our strategy and program underneath. So it's a fairly tight leadership model, but it does feed down nicely, I believe anyway, and we went through this as a leadership group about where we can build our strategy groups to take certain parts of our game forward.
Are there certain players within that group that you could maybe give us a name who are stepping up and supporting these boys?
I think we got some really natural type of leaders amongst those guys. You got guys like Matt Fessler, who I think stepped up. James O'Connor is amongst those guys. Guys like Fraser McWright, really good qualities of leadership. Jock Campbell, just to name a few, guys that can really step up there. Harry Wilson has his own style of leadership, which is important to us. So those guys are support structures for the lads, and I think that's important that we have those guys underneath, particularly in terms of the load gets heavy. And leadership can be a lonely place if you don't have good support. So I think the guys will be very happy with the support they will have underneath them. Particularly at the top of that would be Matt and James.
When you talked about you wanted to wait and see some of the pre-season, how quickly did you realise that the guys who were the captains were the natural leaders and the guys that were going to keep that job?
Yeah, quickly, without a doubt. But I did want to keep an open mind. For me, probably, and the coaches, we probably saw it clearer. And I'm being honest here, these two guys here needed to feel comfortable with it as well, but how we take the team forward, how we prepare, the style of game, the style of our culture, and all those things were important for all of us. So, it's not as easy as me saying you're a captain. I asked them if they wanted to be, and it took us up till Christmas to have a good look at each other. And well, we're here together now, so we'll live and die together, that's for sure.
Tate, it's been a massive year for you, hasn't it? Like, think back to 12 months ago when Eddie took over from Dave, and then personally, the amount of footy you played and what you've experienced. Have you been able to take stock of the last 12 months, and how did you sort of view what happened and what What's your motivation now, I guess, ahead of this year?
Yeah, I guess there was a lot of footy played and a lot of lessons learned, and that was the big one for me, just about, definitely from a leadership point of view, where I can grow, but also as a player, what's going to take me to that next level, and how I can bring the lessons I've learned over the last 12 months back into this environment is something that I feel is really important for me and for this group. So. It's been awesome to kind of get my first full pre-season in a number of years back. So that's, I guess, a little bit of a silver lining with the amount of time we had off post World Cup, that I could devote quite a bit of time into my game and my development, and also help Les when he arrived with the boys when we started our pre-season. So. Yeah, mate. But like you said, it was a big 12 months, and it's definitely a year I won't forget.
There was a point last year as well where you sort of said, after missing the first Wallabies camp and then also captaining the side here through some tough periods, how much you took away from that. Now you've had a chance to lead your country as well. What extra steps have you taken since getting that milestone under your belt?
I mean, for me, it's just another game of footy, to be honest. Those milestones are nice, but I'm extremely lucky and honoured to be able to be a captain of the Wallabies, and it's something I never thought that would happen. But after everything that happened in the World Cup, I guess we spent so much time on the leadership side of things, and we had an awesome group there, guys like Will Skelton, Dave Parecki, all those kind of guys, and just seeing how they approach different situations. Like, we had a big. Obviously we had a lot going on. So for us, our mantra was just to solve problems, and that's something I'll bring back here. It's been nice to be in this environment. It's obviously incredibly different to the environment we had over in France, but I've really enjoyed working under different guys, different leaders, different coaches, and I'll bring all those lessons back.
How did you comprehend the whole fallout of the World Cup, and not just everything that happened over in France and how you were travelling over there, but then also the whole fallout that followed all that as well?
Yeah, I mean, I was in Italy when all that was happening, so I feel like I've spoken quite a bit about the World Cup, and we've got 2 weeks into our first trial match, so that's where my mindset's at. That's where my head's at, and I'm really excited to see just where this team can go.
How hungry are you to get this Reds team fulfil the potential that we've seen over the last 4 years? How good they can be, or you can be, but how hungry are you to see that fulfilled?
Yeah, incredibly. And I think this team, we need to find out where the ceiling is for this squad. And the boys have been working really hard to see just how good we can be. So for us, it's that's probably the one thing I've learned from a leader. You can't make any promises. But what I do know is that we've got a game in 2 weeks, and we'll find out just how good we are then.
On that leadership dynamic, obviously you've got the co-captaincy with Rongers. Can you tell me about that dynamic and how it works? Do you split roles during the week? Is there a larger voice on game day? You've had a bit of time to work on it now with a few seasons. How do you see that dynamic?
It's pretty fluid. Like, we bounce a lot of stuff off each other. A lot of it's not really a split between Liam does the off-field, I do the on-field. Like, we're all kind of helping each other out whenever we can. So we're obviously good mates, and we speak a lot about where we think this team can improve, where we think this team can go to, and but yeah, I mean it's pretty fluid like that.
Tate, you've had time with Les now. What do you immediately pick up about Les's way he approaches things, his positivity or his imaginings for the team?
Yeah, I guess there's a lot I've enjoyed working with Les under. His composure, the way he sees the game, his positivity, like you just said, around the way we want to play, the way we want to attack, and just how he's run the program. It's been really, mate, it's been incredible the last couple of weeks to see the organisation and the team in such good hands with Les, and yeah, mate, it's been really good to build off the back of everything we kind of had, the foundations we had with Thorny, and Les and his team have come in and done a really, really good job. And yeah, mate, I'm excited to see just where this team can go under Les.
Les talked about that there was a two-way thing of you needed to trust him in the same way that he needed to pick you. What were the times? How quickly did you have that trust, and what were some of the things that instilled it in you that you probably needed to say you wanted to put your hand up to captain again?
Mate, the trust was there straight away. I spoke to Les prior to him starting here. We had dialogue during the World Cup, all that kind of stuff. So straight away I knew with Les, he's obviously caring about the individual, and that's a big thing I've seen about this program. There's a lot of care, a lot of connect in everything we do. So I guess for me, I just wanted to train hard in that thing and bring guys along with me, and that's what me and Liam endeavoured to do in that period pre-Christmas and also in these last couple of weeks. So, but yeah, mate.
Liam, you fit, mate? How you going?
Yeah.
On the picture.
Yeah, I am. I've been demoted from the coaching role back to a playing role with Les. So, I'm fit and healthy, and a big goal of mine was to get back for the start of the pre-season, be ready to go and get a full pre-season on my belt. It probably helped as well with that whole process of Les and Tate and I sort of feeling each other out and getting that cohesion and everything. So fit and healthy at the moment.
So you're not hindered at all at training, still full contact and everything at this stage?
Yeah, full contact, everything. So it's been probably 6 or 7 months since the shoulder injury, and the strength conditioning program here, the physios, everyone has helped immensely. I definitely feel like I'm in a better position physically and also mentally, ready to come back and hopefully have a big season. And I can't thank the people here enough who've helped with that. With Carl and Andrew in the physio room, Neil the doctor, Sammy, Maddie in the S&C, Marshy, and then also unique opportunities presented as being able to be here for the whole time Les and the coaches have come in, being able to work quite closely with him as a coaching role and just see what happens behind the curtain. And I think that just gave me a little bit of a head start on the vision and what sort of game plan we wanted to play. And as you sort of said to Tate, that trust that it came pretty quickly because I could see the care that was building and where we wanted to go.
You've had such a difficult run since you took on the captaincy. I've lost count of how many injuries. I assume you sort of lost count a little bit. Was there a time you went, I just need to focus on my own game and leave the leadership stuff to the side and make life simpler for yourself? Did you ever think about that, consider that?
Yes and no. I mean, it's crossed my mind to be truthful, but I don't think I'm the style of leader that goes out there to try and put myself out there immensely in the front and in front of everything and take on that thing. I'm more of a lead by action sort of leader, I believe. And so when it came down to it, it was just me doing the things that I could do to help the team, and that's all I've ever really aspired to do when I've been leading this team. And alongside Tate, I think that's probably the beauty of our dynamic, is that I don't believe that we go out of our way to try and do anything too crazy. I think we just care immensely about this team and this group, and I guess the one advantage Chad and I do have is we know this group pretty well now. There's a lot of guys here that have seriously good experience coming through to 2024. I would have loved to be on the field a bit more with them personally, but I've taken a good sort of step back, and I did believe in 2023 that I'd had my run, all my injuries were done sort of thing. I'd gone through my window, and alas, a couple more surgeries were waiting for me, but again, it just gave me an opportunity to refresh, to look at what I can improve on. I've come back a little bit heavier, which I feel will be good for my game, and like I said, the opportunity to coach a little bit with Les and take on responsibilities there, and every little side step has a blessing, and being able to be here for the whole time that Les and the coaches come through and get to know the new coaches, Chock and Fish and Brad and that. So I think it's been nothing but positive, and I can't go back and change it, so I won't.
Some of the injuries as well seem like they were pretty luckless, like sort of nothing that could have been done to prevent them as well. Easier to deal with when you know that you're sort of all in check. It was just one of those things, or does that make it a bit harder to comprehend when you've already got the history behind you?
It's quite hard to comprehend initially because, as you say, you sort of go, oh, what can I do? You break a hand in a line out going to jump, and there's nothing you can do there to stop that. Same with, thought I scored a pretty cool try and then try to get up and my shoulder's hanging out. So, initially it's quite hard to process, but as I said, I've got a good support group around me, personally as well, so outside of rugby, and I just tried to take a few steps back, see what I could use it to improve as, and then after a while it does become a bit of a relief in that I didn't leave any stone unturned to not dislocate my shoulder or anything like that. Gives me confidence coming back now that as well that I've done everything I can to get my body in the right place, and what will be will be.
We've got a new Wallabies coach as well. I mean, with a whole new era for the national game as well, do you feel like you could just be one complete season away from being able to bust back into that environment?
That's the ultimate goal, yeah. But I think like I said, I've taken a good hard look at my game, at my sort of personal life, at things I do, habits outside of that. We speak a lot here in Queensland about the habits that'll make us good players and good team and a great team, to see how far this team can go. And so I think really my focus is on getting to this trial in 2 weeks. We're really looking forward to playing the Force back here at Ballymore, which will be really cool. And then just take it step by step. I'm looking forward to seeing how far this team can go. One of the things I've really enjoyed with Les and the coaching team coming in is I don't believe we see a ceiling with this team. I feel like we can just keep working hard, putting things in place, getting our structures right, and then there is no ceiling for how far we can try and go if we just put in the hard work and we care about each other and put in the hard work for what Queensland fans deserve. So that's the ultimate goal, it's the aspiration, but I'm not going to be looking too far ahead.
What was your first reaction to Joe Schmidt's appointment? Was that a positive one from you? How'd you take it?
Yeah, definitely. It's great to see some good news for Aussie rugby. We're really excited here in Queensland. We've been working hard, chipping away for quite a few weeks now, and in this sort of heat it's easier said than done. So I know he's worked with Les extensively in the past. Carl, our physios, was in Ireland as well while Joe was there, and nothing but good things to say. So I think it's exciting. It's great to have a coach appointed and take those next steps going forward for Aussie rugby, and I think it's great news.
And back to Queensland, obviously Force just around the corner here, and then back-to-back games against the Tars. That's a hell of a way to start the season.
Yeah, it's a great way, which no other way you'd want to start it. First trial at Ballymore is always cool. The guys love getting out here, and it'll be pretty warm, so it'll test how we've been going in this pre-season. But then getting out to Roma for the Festival of Rugby is always fun. So, we like playing the Tars. We play them almost every pre-season, and then we had to wait a fair bit to get a crack at them last year. So go back-to-back in round one. That'll be awesome at Suncorp with our fans, and we're going to put in the hard work in the next few weeks to try and do them proud.
Les, could you give us some insight into what Joe was like to work with in Ireland, and just how he operates and how it might help the Wallabies?
Yeah, look, I think first and foremost, I think it's important what Liam said. It's an appointment that we've been waiting for, and it's a strong appointment. Joe brings a lot of expertise and a lot of success, and knows how to get the right things out of players when pulling them from different environments and gelling them together to go together somewhere together. So I think we'll find some really good qualities that, right through the whole program. He'll connect us all, and the reality is my job now is to make sure that with Tate and Liam that we do our best job to allow the right things to happen at the top, and that's our focus. But it's going to be good with Joe, that's for sure.
Do you expect to see him here pretty soon? You said he was going to get into the clubs.
Yeah, I'm not sure of his actual start date in that, but he'll be working around the edges as he would always be. And no doubt we'll see him up here. He'll meet the guys and inquire as to how we do things and all that sort of stuff. But he's a very good, solid relationship builder. He'll get around the traps and make sure we're all connected.
Do you think, because he's on these contracted till the end of the lines tour, it was a bit made about how short a term that was, obviously for certain reasons. Is that enough time to actually make a discernible difference to a program, do you think?
Look, they've obviously made their decisions or their rationale around that decision, and they would have collectively done that. So I don't think it means it's finite. I just think it means it's a smart way they thought to go about it with Peter Horn as well and Phil Waugh, and they would have had a good conversation that make sure that it was strategically put together and get the best return in the shortest period of time as possible. So I'm not privy to those conversations, but I don't see it as a negative. I see a lot of these things we should be thinking more positively about what it's going to be giving us, and that's how we're approaching it. As I said, with Tate and Liam here, we have a real strong focus about what we can do over the next month and start to set ourselves up for the season. If we start to doing those things well, we are only helping what can happen above. And most of the guys in this team, all of them are aspiring to be part of a Wallaby. At the Reds here, that's part of my brief. I want to help these guys attain the best they can. So we've got the Force in 2 weeks, and we start to see how we're going.
It's a really, scrutinised role as well that he's taking on, but having worked with him, what traits does he bring as a bloke that you think he can not only handle the scrutiny that comes with this job, but also thrive within it?
Look, Joe comes from good stock. He's done well. He's a teacher at heart. That's where he comes from. He knows the game inside out. He's got a lot of qualities that we won't miss. They're good qualities, and I think we're going to find that a lot of questions around a lot of things. But he'll come out and he'll make a difference. He will, and that's what we're looking forward to. And hopefully, well, not hopefully, we're driven to make sure that we can do the best, so that makes it better up the top as well.
Christy, anything from you, mate?
Thanks,
He
mate.
fell asleep.
Congratulations to the Super Captains. Les, did you at all speak to Joe at all before you made the decision? Obviously, you would have had a bit of a feel about the Aussie environment, having been back with Queensland for a few months.
No, yeah, I didn't speak to him about the appointment at all. No, mate.
Yeah, okay. And just like there wouldn't be many people in Australian rugby that can kind of speak about Joe as well, just because of spending a few years with him. But when he first joined the Irish system and was with Leinster, but then the Irish national team a few years later, and he comes in and pretty quickly turns them around. Are you able to bring us just into a bit of an insight into some of those key things around, I don't know, style of play or detail? What are some specific examples of where he might be really effective in terms of taking over a Wallaby squad, which was pretty young last year at the World Cup?
If I was to summarise it, I'd say he'll cut through the fluff. He'll get to the main things that matter. Concentrate on the areas that will make the most difference and leverage the qualities of the group that he'll have with him. Those are the key things, and he'll cut to the chase and simplify things and get this right. And if you get this right, this will improve. He'll be fairly surgical in terms about how he does that. You get the right things right in any coaching program. You get alignment, you get buy-in. You need a bit of luck along the way as well and a bit of success, but you can go places. The talent that I've seen here at the Reds and doing a lot of analysis of the other teams, there's qualities here to work with, I've got to play my part in that and help these guys be their best and be focused about what matters in the game and what makes a difference, and that's my part to play in that. But Joe will get the right things right, that's for sure.